Welcome to Permly, the easiest way to get work permit ready for Sweden. So, how do work permits actually work here? If you're a non-EU citizen, a Swedish work permit lets you live and work in Sweden legally. The initial permit is usually granted for the length of your employment contract, up to 2 years at a time. After holding work permits for a total of 4 years within a 7-year period, you may become eligible to apply for a permanent residence permit, which gives you the right to live and work in Sweden without time restrictions. But to even get started, both you as the applicant and your employer must meet the Swedish Migration Agency's criteria. And that's where Permly makes things simple. We like to explain work permit applications as a two-part process. On one side is you, the applicant, a non-EU citizen. Your work permit allows you to live and work in Sweden. If you have a spouse, partner, or dependent children, they can usually apply at the same time for residence permits as accompanying family members. These permits are tied to yours and remain valid for the same period. On the other side is the employer, your future company in Sweden. Your permit is tied to a specific employer, role, and set of conditions. Why? Because work permits exist to ensure that non-EU workers are employed under fair and lawful conditions, with salaries, insurance, and contracts that meet Swedish standards, and that employers comply with the rules set by the Swedish Migration Agency. This protects both you as the worker and the integrity of the Swedish labor market. Permly connects and automates both sides of this process, acting like the behind-the-scenes administrator who keeps every document, deadline, and requirement in order. For you, the applicant, that means a faster, clearer, and more predictable journey, landing your job, getting your permit approved, and starting your new life in Sweden. For your employer, it means a predictable, compliant hiring process, without the headache of navigating complex, shifting regulations. Before the application even begins, there's Permly Verification, our free pre-check of your eligibility for a Swedish work permit. In about 30 minutes, you'll complete the same sections the migration agency requires from applicants. We built this step by listening to both sides of the job market. From employers, we heard that what they value most is predictability, knowing that when they decide to hire an international candidate, the process will be smooth, fast, and compliant. They want prepared applicants with their documents ready. From talent who've already made it to Sweden, we heard something just as important. They wanted real support and a way into the right networks, not just sending out job applications blindly, but connecting with employers who understand the Swedish work permit process and are prepared to sponsor them. They wanted predictability, to know exactly which steps were coming next, and to feel confident that the information they were providing matched the Swedish Migration Agency's requirements, instead of guessing their way through the system. And they wanted something that lasts, a way to keep their documents and permit details organized so they can plan ahead, whether that means changing employers, renewing their work permit, or preparing for permanent residence. We deliberately designed Permly Verification to mirror the Migration Agency's own application form, Form 148011 for employees. So everything you provide here lines up exactly with what the authorities will later require. This makes the actual permit application faster and reduces the chance of errors or missing information. What's left out? At this stage, you won't be asked for anything related to your employer. No job title, salary, or workplace information. That part of the process belongs to your future company, and we handle it separately with them when the time comes. Once you finish, you'll receive your Permly Verification certificate, proving your work permit ready. You can add it to your CV, share it on LinkedIn, or send it directly to employers. A Permly Verification has 2 views. The private view. Only you can access this when logged in. It includes all the personal information you've provided. The public view. This is what employers or others see when you share your verification link. The public view of your verification shows only your name, the issue date and validity period, your unique verification ID, and any links you choose to add, such as LinkedIn or a portfolio. All other information you provide on the platform stays private. It is encrypted and securely stored. So, how does the process work? We've split the form into 5 key sections. The first section, About You, gathers your core personal information. You start with your first and last name, making sure to use the exact spelling as it appears in your passport. If you have changed your name, for example, due to marriage or a legal name change, you also provide your previous name or names. If you have been assigned a Swedish personal identity number or a coordination number, you enter it here along with the full identifier. You also provide your date of birth, along with your country and city of birth, which should match the details in your passport. Next, you state your marital status. Under Swedish law, the recognized categories are single, married, registered partner, widowed, or divorced. You then provide language details, beginning with your mother tongue. You may also list other languages you speak, indicating your level of proficiency as beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Finally, you list your citizenships. You need to include both your active citizenships and any previous ones, along with the dates they were held. If a citizenship is current, you mark it as active. The second section, Contact Details, ensures that you can be reliably reached throughout the entire process by both Permly and later, the Swedish Migration Agency and potential employers. Your email address is pre-filled and locked to the one you used when creating your account. This is intentional. It becomes your primary point of contact and is tied to your verification record. For this reason, we strongly recommend using a long-term email address that you will continue to have access to for years to come, rather than a temporary school or work email, which may expire or become inactive. You also provide your phone number, including the full international dialing code. Next, you can add links to your professional profiles, LinkedIn, GitHub, or an online portfolio. These links appear on your public verification certificate, making it simple for employers to learn more about your skills and experience when reviewing your profile. Finally, you provide your current residential address, including the street name, city, postal code, and country. In the third section, Passport and Permits, you begin by specifying your gender, which under current Swedish law is legally recognized as either male or female. This must match the gender indicated in your passport or travel document. This means that the Swedish Migration Agency systems do not support an X or non-binary gender marker. However, some countries now issue passports with an X gender marker. It does not make you ineligible for a work permit, but it can create administrative complications. The migration agency will require you to select either male or female when completing the application forms, even if that does not match your passport. If the information you provide does not match the gender listed on your passport, your case may be flagged for manual review, which can slow down processing. If your passport has X, it's essential to inform Permly early in the process. This allows us to annotate your application and, if necessary, provide an explanation to the migration agency. Next, you provide the type of passport you hold. Most applicants will have a regular passport, referred to as P. If you hold a diplomatic passport D or a service passport S, you indicate that instead. If your travel document does not fall into these categories, you can select Other. You then enter your passport details, including the passport number, the issuing country, and the dates of issue and expiry. Here's an important heads up. Your work permit can never be granted for a period longer than your passport is valid. For example, if your passport expires in 1 year, even if your job contract is for 2 years, the migration agency will only grant a work permit that matches your passport's validity. This isn't a problem in itself, but it does mean you'll need to renew your passport in good time before we begin your work permit application, to avoid having your permit period cut short. If you currently hold or have previously held a residence permit or work permit, you provide that information here. Finally, you list your earlier visits to Sweden or other countries in the Schengen area, including the country visited, arrival date, and departure date for each stay. In the fourth section, Education, you provide a complete record of your educational background after high school. This begins with the name of the institution you attended and the country where it is located, followed by the type of degree you pursued. You also specify your field of study and the dates you started and completed, or expect to complete, each program. The fifth section, Work History, is where you provide details of any previous employment you have had in Sweden. This section is only required if you have had previous Swedish employers. You begin by listing the name of your employer and the job title you held during your time there. You also specify the type of employment, whether it was full-time or part-time. Under Swedish labor standards, full-time typically means around 40 hours per week, while part-time refers to any arrangement with fewer hours. You then provide the start and end dates of each job. As part of your Permly verification, you'll need to upload a few key documents. Some are always required, while others are optional but helpful. Passport, always required. Upload a clear, high-quality scan or photo of the information page. The one with your photo, full name, date of birth, nationality, passport number, and expiry date. Make sure everything is easy to read. If you currently hold or have previously held a Swedish residence permit or work permit, for example, a student permit or job seeker permit, you should also upload scans or photos of your residence permit card. This is a plastic card issued by the Swedish Migration Agency, optional but helpful documents. If you have other documents proving your citizenship or previous residence status, such as national identity cards, official citizenship certificates, or permits from other countries, you can include them. These are especially useful if you currently hold or have held dual or multiple citizenships or residence permits in several countries. For your education, if you have completed a degree, upload your diploma or certificate of completion. If you are currently studying in Sweden, you can also upload proof of your completed credits from LADOC, Sweden's National Student Records System. This is a transcript showing at least 30 higher education credits. Why does this matter? If you are switching from a student residence permit to a work permit, the Swedish Migration Agency requires you to have completed at least 30 credits. If you haven't yet reached that number, you can still receive your Permly verification, but you'll need to meet the credit requirement before your student permit can be converted into a work permit. Accepted file types. We currently accept JPG, JPEG, PNG, PDF, and DOCX formats. If your documents are in another format, convert them before uploading. If you have trouble, you can contact us at admin@permly.ai for assistance. Once you've filled out all 5 sections, it's time for the final step, review and submit. Go through your information carefully and make sure everything is complete and correct. If something is missing, the system will prevent you from submitting. In that case, go back through each section and fill in any required fields. When everything looks good, hit submit, and congratulations. You've just completed your Permly verification. Your digital verification certificate is now live. You can use it to boost your job search, add it to your CV, share it on LinkedIn, or send it directly to employers. It's valid for 1 year. Heads up, if your information changes, for example, you renew your passport or complete more education, Or if your verification expires, you'll need to unlock it, update your details, and submit again. When you do this, you'll receive a new verification ID, and the old one will be automatically deactivated. That means if you've shared your old verification link with employers or posted it somewhere, like LinkedIn, you'll need to update it with the new link. We've also created a set of tutorials on how to share your verification effectively and stand out in your job search. Make sure to check those out. And if anything feels unclear or you run into a hurdle, don't hesitate to reach out. Email us at admin@permly.ai with a short description of the issue and screenshots if possible, and we'll help you out. That's it, you're verified. Now you're one step closer to a Swedish work permit.